In a world crying out for Thunderdome. The fans have spoken. 2 films enter, 1 film leaves. The top 10 gives you a reckoning by the name of Thunderdome.
Thunderdome.
Brought to you by the Schmoes Know Network. Take it away, boys. Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Thunderdome. Yeah, Matt, this is going to be an interesting one. We've talked about this movie already a million times.
Yep. Have we? I mean, a million. It's come up in conversation.
It's come up in conversation,
but I don't know if we've focused on it specifically before.
Fair point. People have heard us at least mention the movie a few times in the shows, and I'm excited to talk about it. I kind of half hoped that the other film would win, and what we're talking about today is we're talking about Unbreakable. M. Night Shyamalan films was the topic. It was Unbreakable versus Split, and Unbreakable I think kind of took it running away. Yeah.
If you had to ballpark, I would say it was like it took 55 to 60% of the vote across all the different platforms.
So not as runaway as some other.
But I was like you. I thought Split would win.
Yeah, I really did because it's more current. Mm-hmm. But people still love this.
It's the one that everybody had just seen, and it's the if you didn't know. By the way, spoilers.
Spoilers. Yeah, if you're listening to this, you haven't seen either one of these films. We're going to spoil it for you. So
yeah, we probably won't spoil as much for Split, obviously, because that's not the focus of it.
Right.
But yeah, I just assumed. I texted you as much when, hey, here's the lineup.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Split's going to win because it just came out and everybody's like, oh, you got to go see Split.
Right. Which
I hadn't seen yet. I watched in anticipation of it winning.
Oh.
Before the voting.
You hadn't seen it?
Before we even put the voting up, I just went ahead and watched Split. That's how confident I was Split would win.
Yeah, that's
which is fine, man. I enjoyed the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, right? It was surprisingly good.
Yeah, really good.
Because I didn't think that. I didn't think he was. I thought he was done. I thought Shyamalama Ding Dong was done.
I know.
And then he came back with that hotel film that a lot of people kind of liked, and the grandparents film that he did. I can't remember the name of it. And then this. And when he did this, I dragged people to see this movie because I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed it. So for Split rather, and then to see the twist at the end, you're like, oh shit! And now we're getting that third film that's going to come out.
The best part is once the twist comes, I obviously already know what's coming.
Right.
And it was still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. It's a great. The way they do the twist is perfect.
Yeah.
It's not focusing on the twist. Just like I'm throwing this. This isn't the big, switcheroo that you're used to from a Shyamalan.
Right.
It was just like here's a little Easter egg.
And we wouldn't even had this twist if Unbreakable, the film we're talking about on this episode, hadn't been so incredible and hadn't really touched a lot of people as a people argue this is a superhero film. Even though he does not really do any superhero things necessarily, even though at the end he does like save those kids, but he's not necessarily a superhero in the traditional sense of the word.
But
which is what I enjoy about the movie.
I would view Sam Jackson as a supervillain.
Absolutely, he's a supervillain.
Yeah.
Well, he's more active in his pursuit of villainy than Bruce Willis is in his pursuit of hero-dom, so for lack of a better term. And so that's why he's such a great supervillain. He's actually committing these acts.
But it's such a strange motivation for a villain.
Yeah.
You're making that choice to affect a positive outcome ultimately.
Right.
He's doing all these heinous, terrible things in the hopes that he can find a superhero.
Yeah.
Not a real one, but somebody who could make a difference. Now, his motivations and actions are inherently flawed.
Yeah.
And he's a terrible person. But his goal is not to just destroy the world or make California sink underneath the ocean.
Right.
And now Arizona's beach property, and I own all that real estate. Kind of, a Zorn type of, shenanigans or any of that. His is to bring out a protector, someone that could take care of us, something that he only fantasized about through the world of growing up in hospitals and having to read comic books and stuff like that. that being his only entertainment.
Right. Okay. And I'll just throw off all the lights there. Okay. Definitely will with that.
Perfect.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Sorry for that little interlude. A guest that may be coming on, may not.
He
I don't
is
know.
totally coming on.
Okay, I'm in on it.
We've talked to him, and so he's in. We'll just have to figure it
Because
out.
I want to get to the backstory on
Absolutely.
some bitch probably has a family crest.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the only legitimate person I know that could have a family crest.
That's
And
why he walks around with Hawaiian shirts, because he don't give a fuck. Like Clooney
I
and
find him fascinating.
Like Clooney and Descendants, he's walking around with Hawaiian shirts because they have all that fucking money. They don't care. I agree with you. And it's such an interesting way to go backwards into the situation, right? Because most of the times it's a hero's journey, figuring out how they become a hero, and then the villain rises in, or he becomes a hero to contrast the villain, to go after the villain, right?
Yeah.
But in this film, the villain's already firmly established and has been committing these acts for quite some time.
Unknowing.
Trying to find the person because it's so insane, because there's such a lover of comics. In their mind, the world cannot exist unless there is a counter to him. The universe must achieve balance.
Exactly, a yin to a yang.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful, like, the idea of him sitting in some hospital bed at some point and
Yeah.
having the realization, like, if I exist, given the statistical nature of 6-7 billion people on this planet,
Right.
there's got to be somebody at the other end of the spectrum. And to go from that to the madness of the only way I can find this individual is by killing hundreds of people at a time.
Like causing these disasters. And there's no guarantee that he's going to find the right person just because he keeps killing all these people in these massive accidents, because he thinks whoever survives and has not a scratch on them, that's finally his counter. But there's how many millions, billions of people in the world? I mean,
Somewhere around 7.
how do you guess that it's an American? It could be
Who lives in the same city.
Who lives in the same city you do, right? Exactly.
There are certain things, if you want to tell a story, then you gotta be like, well,
Yeah.
I understand you gotta tell a story.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, at the end, when Bruce Willis is scanning around his office,
oh man,
and what you turn a blind eye to, like hiding something in plain sight.
Yeah. Yep.
But you also see the newspaper clippings of disasters that he didn't do.
Yeah.
Like mudslide in Mexico kills all but one infant, and that's up there. So he investigated that. So it's not just him. He was curiously active in trying to find this individual, no matter how it happens.
Yeah.
He's killing hundreds of people.
Yeah.
But that twist, man, when we did like our first villains, I'm so happy when you came back around when we did villains again, and just like the brutalness of a real world character like that.
Yeah.
Making a choice, and like it's so simple and yet evil.
Yeah.
And he doesn't view it as, like, I think he understands, but he thinks his actions are justified because of the potential of the outcome.
Well, I think that's what the insanity of that character is for us as the viewer. His madness, shockingly and horrifyingly to us, is understandable. And we can't dismiss him because we go, he's searching for his purpose, just like we are in our daily lives. Now, we're not killing hundreds of people or thousands of people to do it, but this is his purpose, and he's so driven to achieve his purpose, right? And he gives off the veneer of this fragile guy in a wheelchair.
Oh, you
and he's
give
got
Mr. Glass.
Yeah, Mr. Glass. And he's got a mom who still takes care of him and thinks the best of him. It's so maddening, but in no way is it cliche or a caricature or a two-dimensional character. Samuel Jackson, even with that haircut, does a fantastic job bringing this guy to life.
The haircut helps sell the
'cause
character.
It's unsettling, right?
I love that he's got a leather long coat,
Yes.
trench coat, that has like satin purple as the liner.
Yes.
When he's crossing the street after the guy down the stairs because he wants to see the pistol with the black handle, and the wind is blowing against him, it flashes out.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, that is such a great little character detail. Because Sam Jackson obviously has an affinity for purple.
Yeah. That's right. The lightsaber and everything. Yeah.
I am a fan as well, but I don't know, was that his choice or Shyamalan's? But he also has like there's a purple outfit that he's wearing at some point.
Yeah.
If it's not at the end, maybe it's at the very beginning when the guy wants to buy the drawing, the sketch for the 4-year-old.
Yeah.
And he's just like, 4-year-old, get out.
Yeah.
And like dresses him down. Do you see, clowns or whatever the case is? Is this a toy shop? It is not. Just turning down a sale. Like you sell high end. I love it. Just his worldview is so distinct.
Yeah.
At this point in his life.
Because he's so intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, his ability to create these disasters to find his counter in the world is incredibly intelligent. How he's doing it, how he's going, it's methodical, intelligent, plans this stuff out. He knows what he needs to do, and that lets you know the kind of person that he is. So that when he finds the person that is going to be his balance, he will know it. He will sense it, and he knows it before Bruce Willis does.
Oh yeah.
And so he kind of guides him into that spot almost in a friendly way, which is insane. It's almost reminiscent of Green Lantern, where like Sinestro is initially Green Lantern's like friend and trying to help him, and then the change happens inside Sinestro, and he becomes evil, and he becomes his greatest villain. Green Lantern's the Hal Jordan version of Green Lantern's greatest villain. And so it's that kind of thing. Sometimes, and it's true, sometimes your best friend can be your worst enemy because they know every way to beat you.
Oh, yeah.
Every way to get under your skin, every way to fuck with you. And that's so interesting about the film. And when the twist, look, man, the first time I saw the film, I didn't like the film. I didn't get it. And I would like, we've said it before millions of times on the show. My friend Michael Vogel, he's like, dude, you got to watch like a superhero film. And it unlocked everything.
It does. Like the pacing of it, that was another thing. After the first time I saw it, I was like, man, it takes forever.
Yeah.
Like, get there. And now when you go back and watch it, because I rewatched it for this.
Yeah.
I do that on all the Thunderdomes. Whoever wins, I make sure so it's fresh in my mind. So
Absolutely.
I'm not just, giving the people what they want, as Jalen Rose would say.
Yeah, that's right.
The pacing of it makes so much sense because you go out to your car after you've had this horrific accident. And it starts with the ER doctor, and Bruce Willis stops him and is like, "Why are you looking at me like this?" And he's like, well, because he keeps asking him weird, like, "Are you sure you were in the passenger car? Where were you sitting?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Were you standing? Was there something like that?" Because everybody else is dead.
Yeah.
And you don't have a scratch.
Not so much as a scratch.
A scratch.
Not even a concussion.
Exactly.
Or anything. Yeah.
And so upon first viewing, you're like, okay, like get to it. Like, okay, you don't have a scratch. But as a person, like you just lived through an incredible tragedy.
Yeah.
Because they next go to, the at the church, and the priest is reading through quickly the names because there's so many names to get through. It's like Bob Davidson worked at blah, 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 was a blah, 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 and had this family. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Next person. Like everybody gets 3 sentences because they slowly pull back and there's hundreds of pictures.
Yeah.
Just like it's crazy how many people to walk out of that like, why am I alive?
Yeah.
Am I deserving of this? Should I be even asking myself if I'm deserving of this?
Right.
Because my life was terrible before. Why do I, and all the questions you would ask yourself having survived something like that. Then you get this note, so you're trying to process the world because it doesn't make sense. Then you go back to the failing marriage.
Yeah.
And the arc of that, how that grows with time. And like what killed me, not really killed me, but resonates more now is the ending that he has with his son.
Yeah.
The first time I saw that, I didn't really understand why the kid kind of wells up in tears.
Yeah, man, it's incredible, dude.
Yeah, and now when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, because the kid sees that his parents' marriage may have ended, and every time you see him, he is following his dad like a puppy dog. He falls asleep holding on to him. He wants nothing more than believe. Who doesn't want to believe their dad is a superhero?
That's the thing.
Yeah. And this one gets up and he does it in a reserved fashion.
Dude.
Fucking.
Him pointing at the things that he's pointing at.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Willis confirming it. And then.
With no words.
With no words, that
Slight head nod.
Brother, it's maybe one of the top 3 or 4 greatest performances Bruce Willis ever delivered in any film ever. He is so restrained. He is so believable. There's none of his tricks as an actor, none of his antics.
Yeah, there's none of the swaggering charm.
Yeah, none of that stuff is there. It's just him in this internal journey through the whole film. And people talk, Kevin Smith, he's done nights. You can watch him like destroy Bruce Willis working on. When Bruce Willis is dialed into a project, you really get the best of Bruce Willis. Same thing with Die Hard. Like that scene where he's talking about his wife with the broken glass to Reginald Vell Johnson on the phone or on the walkie-talkie, he's talking about Demi Moore. He's legit. He said this in numerous interviews. I'm talking about Demi, like what my life would be like without my wife. And at the time, he was in love with Demi Moore. I think they were married, and so all that kind of. And so that's what he channeled. And when you see in this film, you see him channeling something deeper than what is on the paper, and certainly deeper than we've seen him go in quite some time at this stage in his career. And it is heartbreaking. And it's one of the reasons why I love him. I hear all the terrible stories, but I love him when he dials into a part that you just can't resist him, man.
he hit us in a sweet spot
Yeah.
when we were growing up. I always have a little piece of my heart
Yeah.
for Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like I do for Mel Gibson, just like I do for there's a few dudes that they're flawed. I understand entirely, and I'm not saying he's had anything near as bad a public spat as Mel is.
Right. No, of course not.
But I'm saying they may put out work that you feel is subpar or something, but I'm still willing to give it a shot because I know when he chooses to, he can still perform, as well as anybody in the business.
Absolutely.
That's why I'm actually looking forward to, because after Split, I really like the possibilities of what could come out of the next one.
Yeah, the next one's supposed to be him chasing down McAvoy.
Sure. Are they going to turn it into a two-parter?
Yeah, I don't know, but it's going to be Glass's involved because it's called Glass. So either Glass employs McAvoy to go against.
Well, that's what I assumed.
Willis. Yeah.
Because when the woman's saying, "Oh, I've got a friend in Baltimore," maybe he's in a penitentiary for the criminally insane in Baltimore,
right,
or something like that. Because I was like, this is still East Coast. I know the movie took place in Philly. So they're not. So maybe that's where he's housed. I don't know, but they just make an allusion to it. They don't specifically ever say.
Mm-hmm. And when he does the stuff that he does at the end of the movie, at the end of Unbreakable, when he finally commits to being the hero, and he wears the cape and or the poncho rather, and which is in essence like kind of like a cape, goes into that house, saves that poor family. Jesus Christ, man, that it's so painful when you're watching what that family's going through. Oh, and then fights the guy, and then deals with, and then jumps into the wall, falls into the pool and everything. Everything is so intense.
And I love that he has a weakness.
Yes.
And Glass figures out his weakness. Your weakness, this is where we're similar.
Yeah.
This is what humanizes us between the two of us.
Yep.
We both have a problem with water.
Yes.
This most simple of things. And even as a moviegoer, the first time watching it through, I hadn't really pieced that together. Normally I'm doing that. I'm trying to guess and figure out the angles and all that stuff. And in this one, I was just I know he's gonna end up there.
Yeah.
It's get to it. I wasn't enjoying the movie for what it was, but I do think what we said in the past, a primer of if you view it as a superhero film, then it is infinitely more enjoyable.
Yep.
Especially if you're taking it as an origin story. And someone brought it up. Why didn't we have this on our list last week? I guess because it's not quite full superhero.
Right.
He doesn't have fantastical powers. It's not like he has the health regeneration of a Wolverine. He could just take an ass whooping like a Wolverine.
Exactly.
If you shoot him, the bullets aren't going to pop out.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Although we don't know.
Well, you're right.
We don't know.
Right.
Got to assume, though.
I would imagine if you survive a train wreck like that, you can survive bullets.
He did tear that car door off.
He really did.
But he didn't really tear it off. How believable was that?
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just slowly, he's he has to go back, readjust his grip, and it just the door gives a tiny bit, and then the hinge gives.
Yeah.
So it just opens. So it's not like he ripped it off its socket, Captain America style, and he gets that injection, and it becomes a shield. It's not it's slightly plausible in the grand scheme of things.
Well, you brought up earlier that the journey with his kid is really the number one thing for me through the whole movie is when he's testing how strong he can be and how, he's on the journey with the child is on the journey with his father, figuring these things out with him at the same time. It's a bonding experience for them, right? Because obviously, like you said, Matt, it's a failing marriage with Robin Wright, who's fantastic in the film. The scene she gets, she's heartbreakingly broke. She's broken herself because she probably loved him very much, and in the end grew bored with his aloofness, his distance, because he couldn't emotionally connect to her.
Yeah.
Maybe he always sensed there was something different about him that he was ashamed of. And maybe that's there too, so that he could never fully give himself to her in that way. So there's that, and then that slowly comes together. And I don't think they end up together, but the journey is there for you to explore.
I think the insinuation is they do.
Yeah, okay.
Or at least they're going to try.
Yeah, they're going to try. That's what I mean.
Because he got that job offer in New York.
Right.
But after he saves that family, he goes to her and wakes her up and said, I had a nightmare. And basically just I am agreeing with you that I want to try again too.
Yes.
I want to start anew, and I want to go back to you. I don't want to keep the distance that he admitted to on the quote-unquote first date that they went on.
Right.
And at least he was honest, when she was like, why do you keep distance? I don't know. And I don't think he knows. I think that was an honest response.
Yeah.
You just do. Like my wife and I do it. Sometimes you're just like, I don't know. We had a fight the other night, and it wasn't really a fight. It was just like we're both stressed because we were working a lot, and it boiled over, and, but eventually we just had to talk it through and be like, okay, this is why this, but you have to talk. You have to,
absolutely.
It's not fun.
No, of course not.
But you're just like, look, this is the reason, this is why I think this just happened. Right. What do you think? Talk to me.
Well, and I think that's why, honestly, Matt, if you don't have that subplot with his wife, I don't think the film is as powerful, man. And that's what's so great.
I didn't care for it the first time.
Yeah.
I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas now I think it's essential, and she needs to be part of the next one, unless they're going to say, she couldn't keep the marriage because he had to keep going out every night and doing this.
Right.
And it broke them up.
Yeah.
I hope he's only going out doing every once again, so there's still the struggle there, but then you'd have to bring the son back in, who now would be 25.
Yeah. What's the family?
Like that?
Does the family get in danger somehow? Is that how this whole thing goes down? Like, does he sick this guy on Bruce Willis's family?
Because why not use Robin Wright? Yeah. Especially after Wonder Woman, like you've seen her, but do you want to make her part of this world? Or do you want to still keep her a normal citizen?
Mm-hmm. And I think they're done shooting already, so it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
You think Split goes after her because she's impure, and now he has to?
Yes.
But then how does Split find?
Because that's what I think. I think
Beast or
Samuel Jackson finds him. And I think that's what leads Bruce Willis to go in and be part of this whole situation.
So then you think Samuel Jackson then would sick him on Bruce Willis because he wants to test whether or not he's a real superhero?
Well, no, I think it's the next stage. It's the next step in their battle. Because, he put him in the criminal, because he turns him in at the end of the movie, at the end of Unbreakable. So he's going to jail, this guy. So he's got to get revenge on this guy.
I think given the way the glass has been set up, he would understand why Willis had to do it and wouldn't hold a grudge.
So you think they'll team up against Split?
No. I'm just trying to figure out, because I don't think he would be upset with Willis for having turned him in, because that is the natural progression as he would calculate it for him. Once he tells him he figures it all out, I am the yin to your yang, so of course you're going to try and imprison me. I get it. That's why he reaches out his hand. Now I need to reveal myself to you. And it's great because when you see it a second time, you try and pay attention. Did they ever touch?
Right.
Which they did.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that it needed to be skin-on-skin contact, because the second time viewing ever, I was hoping he pulled his glove off or something like that. But you see when he's in, quote-unquote, some sort of Grand Central Station type of thing, people are just bumping into him. Yeah. Like he extends his hands and fingers subtly, but it didn't really need to be skin-to-skin contact or anything.
Yeah, yeah. But it's the reveal when it happens at the end, the pull away and Bruce Willis's like broken face. It's great stuff, man. Yeah. Because you get it, because you sense because you're in the same boat he is. Like, how can this be true? How can this be true? And so you experience that with him. And by the time, I thought I don't know what more I could really. It's just got a special place in my heart, Matt, because of the journey, because of the acting, because of Samuel Jackson, what he does. And the situation with his wife and his kids, and this idea of like, I'm just a regular guy, and all of a sudden I've been thrust into this world of being indestructible. What do I do with this? There's a resistance initially. What does it mean? There's a resistance to it initially, and then there's an exploration of, just like you would see in any superhero film, of his powers. What can he do? How far can he go? And then you have to go on the first mission. And yes, the first mission is clumsy. And yes, you could almost die. And yes, it's crazy. But you save these people. And the fact that the people who are chained to the radiator, when they look up, they know he's a hero. They can tell immediately he's a hero. And that's great. And so all of that. And it's so strange because you watch it the first time, you don't catch it. Like Samuel Jackson the whole time is around panels of comics. How does it not occur to you that it's a comic book movie, yet you're caught up in this idea that it's a regular movie, and that's what's so funny.
It is. It just happens to, like that happens to be the motivation of this guy because he's been stuck in this world, but you don't view it through that lens.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing I would change about the movie, I would change one thing.
Yeah.
I think on the opening, because I don't care if it's on the closing. I don't remember because I don't think I stayed through the credits.
Yeah.
Upon this viewing. But I think it's in the opening. I know for sure it's when he goes into Grand Central and he finds the guy in the orange jumpsuit that works at the maintenance. Yeah. The music in that is so ridiculously dated. Yeah. It's very Moby 2002. Yeah. Like it was like rejects pile from the Bourne, trilogy movies. What did they use over there? But specifically in that Grand Central, and I don't know what it's called in Philly. I just keep calling it because that's the placeholder in my brain for that's the type of it's a train.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it is like in that moment you're like, oh yeah, this is early 2000s. Like that's the only time because it goes back into strings and whatnot,
Yeah, which is
orchestral music.
Yeah.
And it's way more. I mean, it's much more powerful thereafter. But in that moment, it was just like, oh yeah, you got to succumb at certain points to the time in which you live, I guess.
And he had a bit of a run there, Shyamalan, because obviously coming out of Signs.
Well, Lady in the Water.
I'm sorry, coming out of
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
But he had.
This is his second film after Sixth Sense. This is his film after Sixth Sense.
Is that the lineage of it? It's directly after.
Yeah, and then he does The Village, and then he does Signs. Or he does Signs and then The Village, something like that, and then Lady in the Water, and then those other later ones when he starts to kind of fall
Lady
apart.
in the Water is after I was like, I don't trust you anymore.
Yep, that was and that split. I know people who love that movie, and I know people. Who
I haven't seen it since the theater. I have no intention of ever watching it again. I just remember walking out going, no,
just no.
The Village, I was drunk at.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah. We were watching like boxing or something, and it ended early, as all sporting events do here on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So we had been drinking, watching it, and I was an alcoholic at the time. So me and one other guy we got started hard because we figured we're gonna be here drinking all night. And I was ready to play poker and do stuff like that. There was like 15 of us, 20 of us guys. All we had ordered like wings and pizzas, and we had beer and just all time. And then it ended, and everybody else had like a beer, and me and this other dude had like 5-6 cocktails, and we were just like, the party's starting. So I snuck booze in with me into the Village.
Yeah.
Me and the two of us did. We had like a pint between us, and we bought a Coke, and we put some in the Coke, and we split the Coke, and we're drinking it. By the end of it, I was so drunk, I was the only person that wasn't expecting the twist. I literally went like, hey, like when it happened. And my buddy Tim, who just looked at me and was like, dude, you are wasted. And I was just like, that was good. Just so drunk, not understanding.
Yeah, it goes Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, The Village, Lady in the Water, The Happening, Last Airbender, After Earth. Yeah, he fell to pieces. I mean, like...
Yeah, Airbender I never saw. After Earth I saw.
Oh, yeah, After Earth is terrible.
It's terrible.
Lady in the Water, you can make your decision on that. The Happening is horrible. Last Airbender...
Happening, I heard it's all just Wahlberg breathing.
It's... and plants.
Yeah, people said that. I don't even know what it means, and it just sounds so ridiculous. Like trees, I've heard that. Yeah,
right.
Trees.
Trees.
You're like, okay, I don't know what that means. Is it just shots of wind blowing through trees? Is that literally what it is?
No.
Do the trees speak?
The plants turn on the humans. It's... Yeah, that's the whole...
So it's Mother Nature?
Yeah, Mother Nature.
How? Spoiler alert on The Happening.
You as a science guy, you should see The Happening and go insane. In fact, you should live tweet it as you're watching it for the people who follow you. I have a feeling they would enjoy the shows.
How do they attack us? How does it?
I think it's air for the spores, and it's air like this thing, and it turns.
But they became sentient.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. Like
or are they just saying like it mutated as a reaction to something, some stimulus in the environment?
No, they were actively trying to kill humans. The plants, Mother Nature turns on humanity, or the plants turn on humanity, and they want to kill humanity.
Wow.
It is as comical as you think it is.
So, it's like just a discussion about man's hubris and destroying the world?
Yeah, we're not at the top of the food chain, that kind of thing.
I mean, we're not.
Well...
Technically,
we think we are.
Man versus nature, nature always wins.
Right.
So if we fuck the climate up enough, Mother Nature is going to take us all out.
Yes, of course. Or fucking AI.
I think there's a more likely scenario that we would screw the Earth up before we unleashed an AI that could take us down.
Okay.
I don't know.
You see those the robot dogs opening the doors? That's real shit.
Yeah, I saw that, but what kind of brain does it have? You know, what kind of computing or computational power does it have?
Well, it was fighting back against humans that were trying to stop it in the other the next.
Nah, they were teaching it balance and stability. How dare you? I do love the people that do say like, "Oh, you guys wonder why the robot, uprising is going to happen," and then they have clips of people like running up and kicking those things as they're walking through offices because they have to test it. It's got gyroscopes and that's life. It's not all bumper lanes and pool and bowling.
Well, you try to explain that to them 2 decades later when they're going back and watching those videos and then torturing us in response.
The scariest is what was it, like an AI bot or something that was talking? They made up a no language with another AI bot. That's scarier.
Yeah, well, duh.
But at the same time, all you gotta do is pull the plug. We just need to put in enough fail safes to where they cannot hurt us.
But we're not smart enough. We're not smart enough than a computer. A computer's gonna figure it out. That's their job.
Not as long as, because certain things within programming, they are laws.
Yeah.
You cannot violate this law. It is 1, it is 0. It is yes or no. It's black and white.
Right.
So as long as you make it one of the rules of you cannot do this.
Yeah.
It cannot do that.
Right.
No matter how much it says, well, it's in your best interest if I do. I'm sorry, that violates your programming and you cannot do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Hypothetically, that is the way it's supposed to work. I don't know.
It's not going to help me sleep at night. I know that much.
Now, look, AI bot that would take us out, I think is long after we're dead.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think 20 years. As fast as technology is going, it isn't that far since we had rotary phones,
I forgot
Matt.
to tell you, I expect us to die in 10 years.
Yeah.
We're going to be headlining a podcasting convention.
Yes.
On the way there, Buddy Holly style, and we get taken out.
Oh.
I don't know who our big bopper is that gets thrown in and is now famous all these years later just because they were on the plane with us.
Ooh.
I guess that makes me and you, obviously.
I think I'm the big bopper.
How are you Big Bopper? No. You're Valens.
Oh, you think I'm Richie Valens?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it because
Young Latino upstart.
Yeah, young Latino upstart. Totally. You just described me. Absolutely.
100%. I don't know who our Big Bopper is because all Big Bopper just had the one song.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. Hello, baby. Yeah, that's it. I can't think of anything else Big Bopper had. He was
a good song,
on some level thankful to be on that plane.
I love that song. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go die. I love that song. Anyway. Where are we at? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our Thunderdome. Matt, is there anything more you want to say about the Unbreakable?
No, we could keep going, but we've been recording really late.
Yeah.
And we're taking up someone else's time by recording.
We are.
So we need to, unfortunately, cut this one a little bit short. But don't you worry. There's another Thunderdome coming right around the bend. Thank you. This was an excellent suggestion.
Yes.
And I liked both the choices on movies because I'm glad they didn't go Sixth Sense, which they easily could have done.
Right.
It's the lowest hanging fruit on the Shyamalan tree.
Absolutely.
So it was cool. And it's, two pieces, the yin and yang themselves of what is a future franchise.
Right.
Which I'm excited for now. So thank you to all involved. What do you got to say?
Well, just that thanks to everyone who's been donating, who's been kind of suggesting these topics, and Matt does a great job of doing these videos and making sure you get chosen. People, we truly try to focus on people who haven't been chosen before and make sure that they get a shot at doing these things because they're very kind. You all are very kind to donate at the level that you donate. If you want to donate, go to www.patreon.com. Become a patron. Donate. I think it's a $15 level or $20 level, and you can select a topic, and then you can be one of the people that gets to select the movie that goes into the Thunderdome and possibly get chosen for the film we talk about. Give you credit, say your name, do all those kinds of things. It's really a powerful thing. It's really a fun thing for us to do.
And our thanks to Tyler Spots for picking Thunderdome and Shyamalan, Matthew Hasso for choosing. Now I'm forgetting on. I think he had Unbreakable, and then Jake Higgins had Split.
Okay.
So Jake, we both thought you were going to win.
Yeah, we really did.
But Hasso, he beat you.
That's
fair and square.
Son of a bee.
He beat you. So thank you to all three of you, to Mr. Spots, Hasso, and Higgins. And everything. If you guys want to participate, everything John just said, and please join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/the Top 10 Show. Yep. And that's with the number 10. My name is Matt Nost, and you can follow me at Matt Nost, MATTKNOST. And don't forget, when we have guests and stuff on the show, you have no idea how much it has helped us when you guys let them know on Twitter. Literally, we have one hypothetical guest, and if it happens, it will be because you guys have been so awesome with a previous guest that he felt compelled to recommend his friend to be on the show. And, hopefully it works out. No idea.
No idea.
But it could, and it's all thanks to you reaching out and just telling our guests, I really enjoyed you. I'm glad you stuck it to them. I'm glad you were right and they were wrong. Trust me, it only helps. So thank you. And that's it from me this week.
Yeah, so at Clark Wolf, at Gray Drake, let them know how much you've enjoyed them being on the show recently. And at Fetterman, if you're still enjoying. And at Chris, please.
One of those they don't know about.
Oh, they don't?
Nope.
Damn it. Which
and
one
they
is
just
that?
figured it out. Well, everybody put 2 and 2 together on that one.
Well, we didn't tell them the topic. We just told them the guests, right?
We didn't.
All right, so it's not a negative thing. We just told them the guests, not the topic.
No, we might as well tease it. Coming up on Tuesday, we got Gray Drake on the Gray Drake
on the show. We can't tell you the topic is.
We're not going to tell you the topic,
but she's great on the show. So when you listen, do go back, and if you go back and listen to old episodes, tweet at them and let them know as well, because it's all of it.
Yeah,
helps.
every time, because
all of it helps.
People came up. On Draco, when I saw him like 2 weeks ago, it's like, dude, somebody just hit me up the other day about doing your guys' show and just wrote me a nice, complimentary message, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
He was like, thanks. It's nice. You guys are really supportive and fun, and even when we have a difference of opinions, we're all respectful of it. So it's fantastic, and thank you so much for everything you guys do. Thank you to all our our patrons rather, and that's it. Yeah. That's Thunderdome, guys.
We love you guys. Thanks.